President Buhari departs Abuja for Dakar, Senegal, to attend inauguration of re-elected Senegalese president. Newly elected members of the 9th Assembly to consolidate on the achievements of the previous administration. Plus, experts say Nigeria has no reason to import rice if the country develops and leverages on its irrigation potentials. These and more with me, Ruth Aguela, on Panorama today. Welcome. And we'll begin with the presidency. President Muhammadu Buhari will depart Abuja today for Dakar, Senegal, to attend the inauguration of Senegalese President Macky Sall, following his re-election for his second term. A statement by the senior special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, says President Buhari, who is ECOWAS chairman, will be special guest of honor at the ceremonies to be attended by other African leaders on Tuesday. President Buhari will be accompanied by Governor Mohamed Abubakar, Nasser El-Rufai and Tanko Al-Makura of Kaduna, Bauchi and Nasarawa states respectively. Others on the president's entourage include the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyama, National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, retired, Director General, National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ahmed Rufai, and other top government officials. The president is expected back in the country at the end of the inauguration ceremonies. Members-elect for the 9th National Assembly have been challenged to consolidate on the achievements of the previous administration towards meeting the hopes and aspirations of the countrymen who gave them the mandate through the power of the ballot. This was during a dinner organized by the National Assembly in collaboration with Plug and UKAID. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports that the dinner preceded induction workshop for the newly elected lawmakers.
The dinner was an opportunity for the Batch A returning members and the newly elected to interact and share ideas for a better working relationship of the 9th National Assembly, irrespective of party affiliations.
I therefore encourage new and returning members to take full advantage of this course as it will stand them in good stead as they embark on their legislative responsibilities.
And we're looking forward to the 9th National Assembly addressing the challenges that Nigerians expect of it.
Speaker Yakubu Dogara and the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, challenged the legislators-elect to the task of true democratic governance as a panacea for surmounting all socio-economic challenges being faced by the country.
The hallowed chambers of both the Senate and the House of Representatives calls for dedicated people with integrity, people with knowledge, people with capacity to deliver, and above all, people with courage.
Poverty does not know party. Hunger does not know party. Security does not know party. It affects all Nigerians, and from the day you are sworn in, you represent all Nigerians. And I feel that you work for the Nigerians that we all represent.
No doubt, the newly elected lawmakers have new grounds to explore, just as they have experiences gathered in their various fields over the years, which they will bring to bear on the nation's legislative process.
I hope to give better representation to the people of my constituency.
And essentially, I will focus on the area of good governance.
We hope to have to build a synergy between the National Assembly and also the executives.
We would like to pursue issues that will bring development and progress to the people of Nigeria. We would like to pursue issues of peace.
If they go through the books and listen to every course or every lecture in every section, it's going to make them find their feet very much on time.
The program has lineup of activities to get the new members well acquainted with procedures of the National Assembly. In Abuja, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
And on to agricultural matters. The federal government says it is going to set up 6 cashew processing plants in 4 states. A statement by the Minister of Agriculture, Abuja, says Enugu and Benue states will have 2 plants each and 1 each for Kogi and Oyo states. The minister says the initiative is aimed at adding value to the produce, creating employment and wealth to the country. Abuja added that the initial challenge over the years is access to credit. However, the federal government is discussing with the Brazilians with a view of bringing in machines that will process the cashew fruits into juice, which has a high content of vitamin C. Experts are of the opinion that Nigeria has no reason to import rice if the country develops and leverages on its irrigation potentials. One of such projects is the Tadashonga Irrigation Project in Kwara State, which the Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu recently visited. Musabauda Muhab reports.
Tadashonga Irrigation Project was initiated to convert challenge to opportunity. Located on the bank of River Niger, the project was designed to demonstrate the improved method of rice cultivation in floodplains. But the project, which started in 2010 and scheduled to be completed in 2013, expected to produce about 35,000 metric tons of rice annually, suffered challenge of funding. Interestingly, it is now one of the 116 ongoing projects prioritized for completion by the government. The crops and fish farmers who have been longing to leverage on the project appealed to the federal government to fast-track its completion.
And we shall be so much glad if federal government can assist us, most especially in the areas of rice farming, because we have been facing very major challenges in terms of flooding. When our rices are already done, the flood will just clear everything.
Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu promised the people and the Emir of Shonga, Haliru Yahya, that the government of the day is committed to the project's completion.
Because of the scope and the benefits that stand to be accrued from this project, we accorded it high priority. And we are making effort to complete it.
It's a very strategic project. It's got capability of multiply effect because the Panorama area is so huge and covers right down to across Bida and whatever.
The components of the project include a 32-kilometer flood protection embankment, a gravity irrigation covering about 5,000 hectares with pumping stations on the bank of River Niger. In Abuja, Musbau and Wahab, NT News.
And away from agriculture, Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi says more rail lines will be constructed across the country this year to boost socio-economic development. The minister stated this when he played host to his Ghanaian counterpart on the train ride from Abeokuta as they inspected the progress of work along the Lagos-Ibadan Standard Gauge rail line. Dotun Ogunyemi has the details.
Work along the 156-kilometer Lagos-Ibadan Standard Gauge Railway has impacted significantly on the Nigerian economy, providing foreign direct investment, over 10,000 direct employment, several indirect job opportunities, and sense of pride for many Nigerians. These workers are at its construction, and the minister's regular inspection is helping to keep the pace of work faster. The minister, in company of his Ghanaian counterpart, Joe Gate, embarked on a train ride, first along the narrow gauge from Ebutemeta to Iju, and then on the standard gauge to kilometer 85 after Abeokuta.
For us, how to construct more railways. We are working towards completion of this standard gauge Lagos and taking on the standard gauge from Ibadan to Kano. Minor amendments. All that we are talking about.
For us in Ghana, ECOWAS is important. New connectivity is important. Trade between African countries is important. And we've been having unofficial talks with the minister, no official. We're looking at the day where one day you can sit in the train in Lagos and come down to Accra.
What you have seen now is the fact that the legislative arm as well as the executive arm, when they work together, you get an instant positive impact.
Other stakeholders believe the rail connectivity will improve transportation and cargo delivery.
My interest is cargo, distribution of cargo, and the rail offers that unique opportunity because of the cost of transportation will come down.
The Minister of Transportation charged the contractors to extend lane of tracks and beams from kilometer 85 to kilometer 98 by the end of next week. In Lagos, Dotun Okunyemi, NTA News.
All old structures in the Federal Capital Territory will henceforth be subjected to integrity tests as part of measures to avert cases of building collapse in the territory. Director Abuja Metropolitan Management Council Umar Shuaibu disclosed this while briefing the media on the interim report on the recent building collapse that occurred in the city centre. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu has the details.
Abuja, the nation's capital, is indeed a planned city. As beautiful as the city may look, it has had its fair share of building collapse in recent times. The building collapse in Jabi in 2018 sent shivers down the spine of many residents. Then early this year, another incident occurred when a building along Gambia Street in Area 11 Gariki came down. Though no life was lost, this worrisome trend calls for urgent action.
When buildings are abandoned and all of a sudden you come and resume immediately to start the development, part of the reasons why you have. And secondly, the case of not meeting standard, where developers cut corners.
Some buildings, both completed and those under construction in the territory, are on the verge of collapse, like these ones, including schools.
It's a policy in Abuja. Wherever there is such an incident, automatically the owner of that property has lost his title. The FCT administration has directed all property owners 10 years old and beyond to submit as built drawing to Department of Development Control for reassessment and recertification.
The developer is to be sanctioned. We are going to sanction the developer for undertaking a major renovation work without seeking for approval from the Development Control Department.
The coordinator says the council will not rest on its oars until the nation's capital is rid of incidences of building collapse. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Panorama. We'll go on a break. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. The Independent National Electoral Commission says, contrary to alleged insinuations about fresh elections, the Commission will only undertake collation of results from 6 council areas, apart from Abuja Odwal, where supplementary elections will hold. The National Commissioner in charge of Edo, Bayelsa and Rivers, May Agbamuche Mbu, made this known at a stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt. Robinson Derataide has details.
The enlarged stakeholders meeting had in attendance political party chieftains, candidates, security agencies, religious leaders, and NGOs. INEC at the meeting maintained that it has the results of 17 local government areas in its custody, stressing that it will only resume collation in 5 local government areas of Ahuda West, Asare Toro, Degema, Gokana, and Kana between 2nd to 5th of April. The Commission noted that elections did not take place in Abuja Odwal local government area.
This is a new slate, and we're going to start again. And when I say start again, we're going to do it openly. You're all going to be there to see and make your comments. We'll allow those who have any genuine comments to make, we'll allow them to do so.
Stakeholders, including the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, urged INEC to announce the results of the 17 local government areas and be transparent in the collation process.
Maintain the openness, maintain the transparency. The church has prayed, but we need peace. We Muslims will ask and demand for peace.
The candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, Biokpamabo Awara, however, expressed dissatisfaction with INEC's position, citing an ongoing court case on the matter as reason the process should not continue. INEC further assured the stakeholders of the safety of the materials and results in their custody, noting that they have not been tampered with. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Derateide, NTA News.
And now to security matters. The Nigerian Air Force has issued a statement concerning a viral video and pictures circulating online of military personnel flogging suspected armed bandits in Shinkafi, Zamfara State. According to the statement signed by the Nigerian Air Force Director of Public Relations, Air Commodore Ibukunle Daramola, some of those implicated were indeed NAF personnel stationed at the Galadi sub-sector at the time, who intercepted suspected armed bandits and resorted to unauthorized methods to extract information. The NAF therefore wishes the public to note that it does not condone such human rights violations and has since taken steps to investigate and take appropriate disciplinary action against those found culpable. The statement says, as an organization, the NAF remains a professional fighting force, which will continue to operate within the law while remaining accountable to the Nigerian people. The Nigerian police has reassured stakeholders of commitment towards sustaining the community policing initiative to ensure adequate security of lives and property in the country. Acting Inspector General Mohammed Adamu Abubakar stated this in Lafia during a visit to Governor Umar Tanko Al-Makura of Nasarawa State. Joshua Ojito reports.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu Abubakar, who was in Lafia for wedding engagement of his children, met Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura on improving security situation in the state. He says securing local communities will be given priority in order to curb crime in parts of the country. The acting IGP solicits the support of state governments as he urges people in rural communities to avail police with useful information towards tackling security challenges.
And in doing so, we are in the process of restructuring the way the police function is so as to meet up with the challenge of community policing. By the idea of community policing is to move policing to the community. Let the community initiate, then we'll come and cooperate with the community to solve the problem.
Once every individual within any community considers himself as part and parcel of the security arrangement, I think success would have been achieved even before we embark on the project. So I want to assure you that Nasarawa State will support you, will collaborate with you to ensure the success of police, community policing.
Governor Al-Makura congratulates the acting IGP and assures him of support by the state government. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
And away from security matters, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has ascribed the successful conduct of the 2019 polls as well as the preservation of the lives of Nigerians to God. This was at a special service of Thanksgiving organized by the Aso Village Chapel in Abuja. Correspondent Jide Onifade was at the conference center of the State House, venue of the program. His report.
Given by the scripture's injunction to give thanks in all things, Nigerians, irrespective of religious inclination, attended the service of Thanksgiving, offering praise to God. For Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, his involvement in a helicopter crash during the campaigns and still alive to tell the story is another great testimony of God's great mercies to the nation.
All of the exaltation comes from God. God is the judge. He puts down one and he exalts another. And I want to thank the Almighty God for exaltation. I want to thank him also for exaltation for all of us who are here and who are believing God, and those who are believing God for exaltation.
Speakers at the event described the victory in all areas as divine, which all Nigerians need to thank God for.
We also need to thank God that the opposition also had the grace and the wisdom to take the civil parts, the civil constitutional parts, to express their dissatisfaction over the election results by proceeding to court to challenge the results instead of instigating violence across the country.
The variety of songs rendered at the occasion equally points to the grateful heart with which the people of the country appreciate the works of God. The Service of Thanksgiving is one of the series of programs of appreciation organized by the Presidency after the 2019 elections. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Now, with the increasing wave of child abuse and other social vices, mothers in the country have been advised to pay more attention to the upbringing of their children in order to have a better society. This was at a special service held by the Asovila Chapel in Abuja in celebration of the 2019 Mother's Day. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, and Winifred Oyoita, head of the civil service, were present at the special service. Correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
So many reports are linked to what brought about the celebration of mothers and motherhood. But one thing that cannot be argued is the role of mothers to having a better society. As observed by wife of the Vice President, Oludolapo Osinbajo, mothers always crave for opportunity, advancement, and better life for their children.
Mothers, we need to arise and shine. Indeed, darkness has covered the earth and gross darkness the people. But the Lord will arise over everyone in this.
And raising concern over the negative effects of the social media on children, she wants mothers to intensify efforts in protecting their children. The clearest modern precedent for Mother's Day is the early Christian festival known as Mothering Sunday, which falls on the fourth Sunday of Lent. Over time, the Mothering Sunday tradition shifted into a more secular holiday, and children would present their mothers with gifts and other tokens of appreciation. This is being kept alive at the Asovila Chapel as children here present gifts to mothers of the nation and by extension to all mothers in Nigeria. They also sing on the theme of the day, which is Mothers Arise, for thy glory has risen. While for former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Ekaite Akpabio, who represented the wife of the president, led others in the cutting of the anniversary cake.
In as much as some of us are very busy, we should be watchful who we leave our children with.
Foundation of every nation starts from the upbringing of a child at home.
Mothers are generally a caring species. In those days, mothers really cared. They still do care, but I can tell you that the pets of mothers is what has kept us alive, and that is what gives us the treat.
I believe as a mother, it's our primary responsibility to care for our husbands and for our children. That is the injunction that the Lord has given us, and I think it's a pleasure to do so.
Because when you teach these children, bring them up in the good ways, the children will also make a good society for us.
If I teach my children well, they will influence others, even in their schools. So I must teach them well. If we want our society to be changed, it must start from our homes. Biblical teaching, the truth and nothing but the truth.
That we can't make too much of our mothers. We should celebrate them. In fact, the Yoruba say we should leave the idols and begin to worship our mothers.
From the Asovila Chapel, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Sure, mothers deserve to be celebrated. And that's it on Panorama. Thank you so much for watching. We'll join us for other news on other platform. Thank you so much for watching. I am Ruth Aguele.